Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. It's the start of April. It's the start of a brand new Pens in Use month. Can you guess this month's theme? Here's the pen wrap that my wife's made. Does that give you any hints? Does the month, maybe a specific day of this month, give you any hints? Join me now, down on the table. I'll announce the theme and then take you through the 6 pens that I'm starting this month with. Welcome down to the table. So May of 2024, I thought Star Wars, may the Force be with you, or may the 4th be with you. That's what I've themed this month around. So it's all around Star Wars characters. It was actually a little bit more difficult than I thought, trying to match a pen with a character. So I've done the best I can. Let me know what characters you would have used. I'd love to get people's ideas on this. So we're going to start with either, say, Yoda, or maybe even Grogu. So they're the little green Jedis. And to go with that, I thought, well, here's a green pen. Not quite the same green, but getting close. This is the Jinhao 95. There we go. Metal pen. Cartridge converter. Got a nice green ink in there as well. And here we've got a smallish nib, which is why I thought of getting a small nib. Let's say Grogu or Yoda, whichever one you prefer. But the pen writes nicely. So we've got here a Jinhao 95. It's got a medium nib. And so we're saying it's Grogu or Yoda. The price for this pen, 11 Aussie dollars, so fairly reasonably priced pen. The ink is by Robert Oster. And it's called Green. Says what it is, doesn't it? Drying times. So here's a media. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, that one's nice and dry. Looking forward to using this. It's a fairly new pen to my collection, so I was glad to be able to fetch out so quickly. And I do think, Grogu, Yoda, I think this is quite a good match. So that's the Jinhao 95. Next up, well, I thought, let's think about Chewbacca. Tall, furry, with that long brown fur, the roar that he comes out with. He's a Wookiee, and Wookiees live in a forest. And I thought to myself, I've got a pen that might do for that. I've got this wooden pen, the Jinhao 9056. This is in green sandalwood is the name of the wood. Very nice wooden pen there. Again, we've got a cartridge converter. And the nib on here, not the nib that it came with. This is a medium cursive italic nib. It's a slightly different nib, and I thought, let's do something different with this. But it's a wooden pen. That's why I thought Chewbacca. So we've got Jinhao 9056. We get a really nice line with this. Loads of line variation naturally. So cursive italic. So Chewbacca. C's not K. I wanted to write K's there. Price for this pen is 20 Aussie dollars. Then you're talking another $10 to $15 for that nib. So I'm going to put there, let's call it $15. So in total, we're looking at a $35 combo. The ink is by Dominant Industry. And it's winter wood. So brown ink, wood, named after trees, sticking with the idea of where the Wookiees live. Brown ink dries though with a bit of a green sheen. Once we've done the drying times, we'll come back and see if we can see any of that sheen. So in 1 minute, immediate, straight away, quite wet looking. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Wow, look at that. From fairly wet at 10 seconds to dry at 30. Didn't expect that. That was a bit of a surprise, I've got to be honest. Let's see, can we see any of that sheen? So to my eyes, I can see it definitely. Whether it comes over on the camera, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, my camera preview, it's hard to see if it is capturing it. I normally don't see until I'm actually doing the edit. But certainly to my eyes, I can see loads of green sheen coming through. So this is the Jinhao 9056 with Dominant Industry Winterwood. Just going to move this up ever so slightly. So pen number 3 to start the month. This time I was thinking about lightsabers and the colour of the plasma blade. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's what I'm going to use as my inspiration for this pen. Obi-Wan Kenobi, his lightsaber has a blue plasma blade. Unfortunately, I didn't quite have the right blue. I do have this blue here though. This is actually, I believe, deep sea blue. The pen is a Jinhao 100 Centennial. Nice looking pen. You can maybe say the lighter parts are getting towards that Obi-Wan Kenobi type colour for the plasma blade. Solid looking pen. Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's that solid character. He's that sensible character. This is just a solid, sensible, good writing, well-behaved pen. We've got a cartridge converter. There we go. Let me pop the body back on. And then we've got a Jinhao steel nib. This is the nib that came with the pen. So I've got here a Jinhao 100. I'm not going to bother with the Centennial. Medium nib. Just noticed my first 3 pens all Jinhaos. That's a bit of a surprise. I didn't actually plan that. So this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Price for this pen, 22 Aussie dollars. So again, fairly reasonably priced. The ink by Diamine. And it's Thunderbolt. Although we don't see Obi-Wan Kenobi throwing around Thunderbolts, we see the Emperor doing that, but I just thought this is a nice coloured ink to go with a pen. Drying times, so immediate. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Teeniest amount of a smudge. Go on, let's do it. Let's go for a minute. Thereafter a minute, dry as we would expect. I like my Jinhao 100s. They're just solid, good performing pens. Bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's that solid, good performing Jedi. So that's a Jinhao 100. So they're my 3 pens under 100 Aussie dollars. Let's now look at the 3 pens over 100 Aussie dollars. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. Would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Pen number 4. So the character that I wanted to try and fetch in was Princess Leia. So in the original film, she's dressed in white most of the time. So I thought, well, we can go for a white pen. And then I was looking through my collection and I found this one. This is the Conklin All-American. White pen, bit of translucency, so this character there, which definitely we see coming through with Princess Leia. This is the Courage model in red. You can see there, Courage. Certainly something that Princess Leia has in buckets, isn't it, is Courage. So I thought, what a better pen. What a really nice one to use. Cartridge converter. The converter screws in, so it's a good solid fit. Got a nice red ink in here. The nib, got that black nib there. She's got that black hair, isn't it? Tied up in buns. So there we go. So we've got the Conklin. I'm just going to put All American, AA, Courage. This has got a broad nib. It's a Yoho nib, it's a steel nib. And this is Princess Leia. Price for this pen, 194 Aussie dollars. The ink by Pure Pens, this is a Welsh company. And it's St. George's Cross. Nice red ink. Drying time, so we got immediate. Try and get a cleanish finger. Whoops. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. Although here, opposite where I've smudged. Still smudging a bit. 1 minute. After a minute, that one's nice and dry. This is one I'm looking forward to using. I haven't used this All American as much as I'd really like to. So it's going to be nice to be able to actually get a bit more use out of this. I do like this red ink as well. I think that's a nice combo. The Courage there and the colour of the ink look very close. So that's the Conklin All American. So far we've been concentrating mainly on really that original series. So we had Yoda, Chewbacca, we had Obi-Wan Kenobi, we've had Princess Leia. Yes, you could argue the first one could be Grogu. So I thought, well, if it is Grogu, he needs to have a friend. He needs to have a Mandalorian friend. So I thought, how about this one, the Diplomat Aero for the Mandalorian? And is it Beskar, the name of the metal? This one's aluminium, but we get the same idea, an all-metal pen to an all-metal outfit that he wears. Cartridge converter. I don't know why, but this always squeaks and it looks like there's a little bit of rust on there. I don't know, it's always looked like that since I've got it, so I don't think there's an issue with it. We've got this gunmetal coloured here on the section. Again, picks out some of the other metal colouring that we see on the Mandalorian's outfit. Then we've got a steel nib here, a Diplomat steel nib. So we've got a Diplomat Aero. It's got a broad nib. So this is the Mandalorian. Price for this pen, 270 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Eau de Nil. Now, I was tempted to put a red ink in here, but I thought, no, that would be too many red inks for the month. That's why I thought, let's go for this Eau de Nil. So, water, sand, not a lot of water in where the Mandalorian lives, and certainly a lot of sand, isn't there? So I thought, yeah, go on, let's go for this. For our drying times, there's immediate, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, still smudging a bit, 1 minute. After a minute, that's nice and dry. The final pen, my most expensive pen now. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age. What better character for this to represent than Darth Vader himself? You know, the baddie in the original trilogy, always wore black. So I think, yeah, this is so nice. So a very solid pen, made by mixing volcanic ash from Mount Etna with resin, then they make it into this gorgeous pen. I mean, I'm saying it's black, it's just a very, very dark grey rather than black. But then we do have some black trim to go with it. Beautiful looking pen. I say very expensive. The cap uses a hook safe mechanism, so it's easy to take off. Little twist and off it comes. To put it back on, push and twist. Snap off and snap on. Very quick, very easy. vacuum filling pen. Not going to work it because there's ink in there, but you untwist the end, pull it out, push it down, that creates a vacuum. When it gets near the bottom, inside, it opens out a bit, releases the vacuum and draws the ink up into the pen. No ink window, that's one of the downsides, so you don't know what your ink level is. Heavy pen, fairly weighty pen. It's a gold nib, 18 karat gold nib. Beautiful. And it's got this nice plating on it, so it matches well with the rest of the pen. So we've got a Visconti Homo Sapiens. Beautiful feedback. Almost a little bit like it's singing. So we've got a broad 18 karat gold nib. And this is Darth Vader. The price for this, it's not cheap. 1,140 Aussie dollars to buy nowadays. Not a cheap pen. This month is going to be my first month really using it in anger, but so far in my usage, it's beautiful to write with. Now the ink is by Diamine, and it's called Fireside Snug. Why I chose this ink, I wanted something different. So my original fill of this was Diamine Earl Grey, which was a nice grey ink. But when I was looking, I was thinking, I want something different. So I looked through my inks and I thought Fireside Snug. This is going to be for Darth Vader. In the Return of the Jedi, at the end of it, we see his uniform being burned on a fire. And then we see the Force Ghost disappear and his younger Force Ghost appears. So I thought, well, Fireside, yes, not particularly snug, but Fireside, yeah, maybe. So that's why I thought we'll go for this ink. And I actually do like it. We've got some nice shading. Drying times, we've got immediate. Use a clean finger for this one. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. One minute. I'm going to go on to the next line. Still fairly wet there. Let's do a 2-minute test. I'm going to go right the way over this other side. After 2 minutes, now teeniest tiny bit of a smudge. So that's the Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age with Diamine Fireside Snug. Let's swap on over. We'll take a quick look at this month's pen roll, and then we'll pop the pens away. Here we've got this month's pen roll, Star Wars theme. So we've got Darth Vader there with his red lightsaber. We've got the Death Star. So very much a Empire themed roll this month. And into there we put this month's pens. So we put the Jinhao 95 with Robert Oster green representing Grogu or Yoda. We put the Jinhao 9056 with Dominant Industry Winterwood. That's for Chewbacca. The Jinhao 100 with Diamine Thunderbolt. That's for Obi-Wan Kenobi. We've got the Conklin All-American with Pure Pens St. George's Cross. That's Princess Leia. We've got the Diplomat Aero with Diamine O'Donnell. That's the Mandalorian. Then we've got, finally, the Visconti Homo Sapiens Dark Age with Diamine Fireside Snug. And that one, that's for Darth Vader. Let's roll this up. There we go. And then we'll tie it up. Try and do it in camera. Wouldn't hurt, would it? Just try and get this in the right position. I'll just leave it like that for now because I'll be taking the pens out and writing with them shortly. So that's it. That's the pens that I'm going to start using during May of 2024, my Star Wars month. I do have a couple of other pens which I can fetch in, which I've got themed already, but let's just see how we go with this starting lineup. So here we are, there's the starting lineup for May of 2024. Looking forward to this month. It's been a bit of a struggle to try and find the pens to match the characters. And I do have some others. If any of these run out, I've got some others I can fetch in. Are you using a theme to plan your month? If so, what is it? How do you pick the pens that you're going to use? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.